It's been 2 years since I posted anything on this channel. 2 years. And I have no good reason to justify this break, guys. I suppose life happened to me, just like the rest of you all. I'm sure some of you have already given up on Filmanter completely, and I don't blame them. But for those who have stuck around, I see you loud and clear. I have been seeing you every single day. But today is not about me. Today is about someone I actually spoke about 5 years ago. Someone so effortlessly charismatic and yet so underappreciated that it almost fills me up today that I see video after video, post after post, reel after reel, love just pouring in for the guy. Yes, today is about Akshaye Khanna. Now, before we get going, it's important for you all to know that I'm a married man now. And believe me when I say, my wife had no idea who this guy is. Yes, she's one of those. I mean, she barely recognizes Sanjay Dutt. And the only thing even remotely recognizable for her in this film was Deepika ka husband. I mean, it makes sense for a non-watcher, I guess. He's the modern day superstar in the age of knowledge and social media. It's easy to stumble upon a bona fide leading man from Bollywood here or there. So I already knew heading into Dhurandhar that there will be a lot of data dumping I'd need to be doing to help her catch up. And boy was I ready for the challenge. What I wasn't ready for was somewhere in the middle of that film, my wife leaning into me, pointing not at Ranveer Singh and asking me, "Is that the hero of the film?" And who was the guy, you ask? I mean, there's no points in guessing. That's literally why you clicked on this video. And funny enough, you already know which scene it was. Not the least because you've yourself seen that clip play on loop ever since coming out of the theater. You know what I'm talking about. You. Don't get me wrong. I was thoroughly enjoying Akshaye Khanna as much as the other person up to that point. But with my wife asking me that one question, it suddenly struck me, by all metrics humanly possible, Akshaye Khanna is the star of the show, not Ranveer Singh. And I don't mean that in flattery, nor am I having a fanboy moment here. No, he literally is designed to carry the entire movie on his back. He didn't just suddenly overshadow the towering personality of Ranveer Singh in this scene. No, he was meticulously placed in that slot by the director, well above the leading man, and the camera was allowed to make love to him. You know, ever since I returned from watching the movie, both mine and my wife's phones are constantly flooding with praises of Akshaye Khanna, pouring in left, right and center. Just like all of you, I'm sure. And I've started seeing this new sub-trend where a lot of people have instantly started drawing parallels between Khanna's Rahman Daket and Bobby Deol's Abrar Haq from Animal. You've seen those comparisons, right? Polls are taking place, rating the two against each other, asking people to pick their favorites, maybe because both of them similarly had foreign songs accompanying their respective entries, or maybe because those comparisons with Animal kick-started the day Dhurandhar was unveiled, pitting Ranveer and Ranbir against each other because I guess we're good at doing that, and it all makes no sense. See, contrary to popular belief, Bobby Deol was not the star of Animal. He did a tremendous job for what he signed up for, and lit the scene with this magnetic presence we frankly hadn't seen from him on the big screen ever. And he was showered with appreciation because we were rightly smitten with what he pulled off. But make no mistake about it, Animal solely rested on the shoulders of Ranbir Kapoor. He was the show going in, and he was the same coming out. This was different. Yes, the marketing material presented Ranveer Singh at the helm of this project, and rightfully so. He was the biggest box office bull among the slew of actors they've casted, and for all intents and purposes, he will be the star of the second installment next year. But this was an out-and-out Akshaye Khanna movie. Designed this way, probably so that Ranveer's character gets time to peak in the sequel. And here's something I want to make absolutely clear. Ranveer Singh knows exactly what he's doing, guys. You don't walk onto a set, look at a script, look at the staging, look at the monitor playback of Akshaye Khanna scene after scene, and not realize that this is someone else's movie. Ranveer is many things: loud, chaotic, energetic, flamboyant, but he's not insecure. This is a man who has shared the frame with the biggest names in the country and still walked home with the spotlight. So him taking a step back, that's not a loss. That's intention. That's trust in the material. That's confidence in the larger story. And honestly, I respect that. Trust me, a lesser actor would have interfered. A lesser actor would have insisted on balancing the scales. But Ranveer allowed the film to breathe, allowed a legend to rise, allowed the audience to fall in love with someone who has been quietly waiting on the sidelines for 2 decades. Because that's the truth, isn't it? We weren't just applauding a performance. We were applauding a return to the lead role. Akshaye Khanna sits in a very rare emotional space for Indian audiences. A mix of admiration, nostalgia, and guilt. Yes, guilt. Because somewhere deep down, we all know we didn't appreciate him when we had the chance. Think about it. He has been good since day one. He was delivering layered, internalized performances in an era that didn't know what to do with subtlety. When everyone else was busy shouting their lines to the back row, he was acting with his eyes. When the industry was obsessed with heroes, he was building characters. But cinema back then didn't reward restraint, and the audience wasn't trained for minimalism. So he drifted, in and out, here for a few years, gone for a few more. Always brilliant, but never the biggest. Always respected, but never celebrated. Which is why this moment, this Dhurandhar moment, hits different. It feels like all of us collectively woke up and said, "We owe you this. We should have given you this years ago." It's not just praise, it's a correction, a late but heartfelt apology. There are some actors you admire and some you enjoy. Then there are a handful you feel protective of, like their success genuinely matters to you in a personal way. Akshaye Khanna has always been in that category for me, alongside maybe Kunal Khemu and Randeep Hooda. Because unlike most stars, he never demanded our attention. He never manufactured hype. He never played the media circus. He wasn't loud or omnipresent or constantly reinventing himself to stay in limelight. He just showed up once in a while, delivered brilliance, and quietly left. There's a vulnerability in that, a fragility, a sense that he doesn't belong to the noise of modern Bollywood, but to something purer, older, and more honest. So when he finally gets his due, when a theatre erupts at his entrance, when social media is drowning in edits of his dance, it feels like justice. It feels like our win. It feels like we're protecting something rare from being forgotten again. And that's why this Dhurandhar wave feels emotional instead of just viral. Because we know how easily he could have been sidelined again. And we're not letting that happen because fans के दिल से निकली चाहत बड़ी कसाई नुमा होती है.